Hi, Speak Antique here again. I just wanted to do a video about some antique clocks that I have. I've been buying and selling antiques for about 10 years now, but something that I don't sell often are antique clocks. So I have electric and wind-up clocks. In one of them here, this is a Europa Clock from the 1920s. It's a travel alarm clock. The dial does have radium paint. It's a wind up. To set the alarm, you pull this rod out and you put it back in when you're done. Still runs. It is great. Another antique clock I have is this Acron clock, and this would date from somewhere late 50s to early 60s, and this is actually what they call the Pharaoh model. It does work. It has a little red indicator in the top of the dial below the 12, which is supposed to have a light which turns red when it is PM. The light bulb for that, it doesn't work, and they're very hard to find. So besides that, it's in great shape. Some wear on the wood, but I don't mind that. This next one here isn't exactly a clock, but I'm going to count it. It's wall mounted pretty high up to the ceiling, so that's why I don't have it closer up. But this is an Eastman Kodak darkroom photograph developing timer. Another one of my favorite things to collect are antique cameras and related items, and I found this in a flea market probably about a year ago, and it does work. I don't have it cranked up currently because it's not good for the springs to keep them wound tight, but it's a nice red color, and it really matches the aesthetic of my apartment, and I enjoy it quite a lot. So this one here is a gingerbread clock, is what they call it, from around the 1940s or 50s. It has some great colors. It does work, but I don't currently have the weights attached because my cats like to play with them, and I don't want it to get damaged. So I currently just have it on the wall for show, to show the nice details, but I don't have this one currently running, although it does work. This clock here was a great find. This is a mushroom and toadstool themed clock, which was actually made by Sears Roebuck, and on the back there's a date of 1966. I got this for $10 at an antique show I was selling at, and another vendor had it for 2 days and no one wanted it, so I got it for $10. It does work. It's an electric cord, and what's nice about this one is that the cord is still white, and that's the original cord. And what would happen often is people would paint the cords to match the color of their wall, so you'll sometimes have cords with many layers of paint on them. But in this case here, it's never been painted, so it's still white. And I mean, cords are easy enough to replace, so it could be replaced if need be, but I didn't have to in this case. This clock here is quite nice. I got this at an auction. This is a United clock from around the 1930s, or maybe early 40s, and this is a Western style clock. We have the horse there, which is hollow brass casted, and also the actual clock mount, which we see the cowboy boots and the cowboy hat and the rope. Unfortunately, this clock does not currently run. It's missing a gear which connects the electric motor to the rest of the clock, and I haven't exactly found the exact part it needs yet, so for now it's on display, and that is the original base as well, with original paint. They do come in a brown variety and sometimes a black variety, but mine here is an off-white cream color, and it's quite nice. The brass has some nice patina on it, and although it's not currently running, it is quite nice just to have as a display piece. This clock here is probably my favorite and also the newest one I've found. This clock is from the 1950s and it's made of porcelain, and it's made by a company called Mastercrafters, and they made radios and clock radio hybrids, but they did also make some clocks by themselves. And this one here is a blue bird in a birdhouse with flowers and leaves surrounding it. Some nice pastel colors, great color, great shape. It does work. It turns out that this is a very rare clock, which I did not know when I bought it. So I got this at a flea market for $40, and they're worth closer to 200. And I've only seen one online, and it actually has a broken dial and not working, and they want 120 for that. So I figured that one that does work and doesn't have damage, it must be at least 200, if not more. But it's definitely one of my favorite clocks that I've ever had, and I probably will not sell this one anytime soon.